Johnny, chump, douchebag, whatever you want, and it won't bring on Wikipedia, because they accept anything from anyone except me. Because one time I spent 24 hours because I saw the stuff on Wikipedia and I was like, this is bogus. What is all this baloney? It's like, who's submitting this information that is untrue? Some of it's true, some of it's not. And so I went through, I spent like the whole day, like 2 days basically, and I like wrote it all out from like birth to, you know, like what I had been up to. And I submitted it because I was like, man, there, now it's done. It's like, this is exactly, if anybody wants to know anything, this is the true information. And it was up there for like 5 minutes and then they just deleted it. And there's like, yeah, it was just weird because I was like, oh, it's me. And I like showed proof and they're like, well, that's not how this works. I was like, so it's okay for people to submit information that's not true and that's okay. And whatever, they didn't respond. Baby! Play that music. Gaga. Gaga goo goo. Gaga goo. Gaga goo goo. Sorry, yes, this is for the baby. Gaga. Gaga goo goo. Gaga. Gaga goo goo goo. Gaga goo goo goo. Alright. You're running over here to tell us to shut up. To turn us down. Turn us down. Okay. Looks like we're done. Alright, any other questions? Yes?
Sometimes film work actually came out of the blue and say, hey, for Persona 4 the animation, we're re-hiring just about every voice actor that was in the game. But
they didn't tell us about it. Yeah, they had they said that they got everybody to be in it, but they didn't inform everyone of the cast, right? Boo! How dare you talk to me like that? Take that pic. I don't know what happened there. I tried to shove it in here and it went. Yeah, basically what happened is like, I mean, I heard that the project was happening and one of the guys mentioned it to me in Hawaii or whatever, but then they didn't go around and ask everyone. They didn't even ask me, you know, or they didn't tell me that, you know, that it was for sure. I didn't know it was for sure. But then they went and announced that everyone had agreed to come to it, I guess. And I mean, I don't know all the details. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered a few other people, you know. And it kind of makes sense. But I can't share any details about that. But for the most part, I think they've got the majority of people working on it.
And my second question, how is it to voice Yuga Rukami, considering that he didn't talk at all in the first game? Now that he talks a lot in the animation and the spin-off. How is it?
Well, that's an interesting thing. Persona 4, if you guys don't know, it's a game, and when I was cast to play the villain, who is Adachi. And so I went in and I was listening to the character Adachi, and I did kind of more in my natural range, you know. So I went in and I read that character. At the end, towards the end of that session, they were like, oh, and you're also going to do the protagonist, you know, which is kind of odd to be like the villain and the hero, you know. And I was like, well, wait a minute, how's that going to work? Or what does he sound like? I mean, if he sounded young, it'd be really easy for me to alter my voice so it doesn't sound the same. But they're like, oh, he doesn't talk much. It's just fight call-outs and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I listened to it and I was like, all right, so it doesn't matter, you know, because it's just shouting stuff, so nobody's going to know. A few games later, he starts to talk more and more and talks a whole lot. And so now I've got like two characters that sound very similar talking to each other. you know, and it's like, well, okay, how's this gonna work? And then the anime comes along, and I'm like, holy cow, how is this gonna work, you know? And it's tricky because, like, when the anime came along, it was, well, with the game, it was like a slow, like slowly they had the lead start talking more and more, and I was like, I don't even know what's going on now. But with the anime, I could really see it, and it was really clear. And so I just made a choice. My first choice, actually, we did all the lead character stuff because he had more lines, obviously, and then we went back and started doing the dachi. My first thought was like, how can I play him in the same range? It just doesn't make sense, you know? And so I totally changed it. And then when I listened back to it, I was like, that's not right. That's not right for the character. It's not gonna work. And so, you know, and so I chose a lower register for the main character, you know, which is my normal talking range. And I brought Adachi up a little bit, you know. But side by side, you're gonna hear, obviously, you may go, well, that's Johnny. But if you're watching the show, you may just kind of go over your head, you know, because the characters are, you know, they're not the same characters. So it should be okay. We haven't started the second season when there's a lot more talking. So, like in the first season, there's not a whole lot of interaction between the two, so it's okay. But, you know, the next season, I have no idea what's going to happen. I was even thinking at a point where I was like, I told them maybe you should recast me, you know, for one of them, you know, just so. But then people that like the game and like me as one or character or the other are going to be disappointed, you know. So they just left it the same. So we'll see how it goes. I'll just do my best not to sound exactly the same, while trying to sound exactly the same as the game. Yeah. There's something going on right there. I think anything you do is going to be too loud. Did they tell you to quiet us down a little bit? Did they tell you to turn us down? Purple. We're going to play a song. we're done. We're done. We know who's important. Thank you guys so much. We will be doing autographs, I guess, all day at the other room because we're too loud here. Thank you guys.